What's up, y'all? Sorry if I've been MIA for a couple of days. It's the fact that this work has been kicking my ass and I haven't really had time to upload, but I'm back with yet another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing some conspiracy theories. Wizard of Oz conspiracy theories to be exact. Now, I don't normally do conspiracy theories on this channel, but in this case, these conspiracy theories make me think, and they're really exciting. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Wizard of Oz, come on now, you should, because that's a classic. Everybody and their mama should have seen Wizard of Oz. But if you haven't seen Wizard of Oz, I am going to insert a picture, but I'm not going to do a trailer due to the fact of copyright purposes. But for those of you who aren't familiar with Wizard of Oz, it basically tells the story of Judy Garland's character, Dorothy, God rest her soul. She plays as Dorothy, and her house ends up in a tornado, and she ends up in this place called Munchkinland, in which she has to find her way back home, along with the support of the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow. Now, like I said, I normally don't do conspiracy theories because in my opinion, I think some of them are stupid. But like I had said, these conspiracy theories, they make me think, and also they seem really, really, really exciting to me. And I could not be more excited to be talking about them. So, without further ado, let's get into this. By the way, y'all like my hair? I recently had got it did. Shout out to my hairdresser, which I'm not going to say her name due to privacy purposes, but shout out to my hairdresser if you want to call her that. She hooked a bitch up. Now let's get into this. This is on a website called mentalfloss.com. And it says 8 wild The Wizard of Oz fan theories. Now I'm not going to read all 8 of them because some of them just aren't worth my time. But I'm just going to read the ones that stuck out to me. It says Glinda is the real villain. Now, Glinda is the so-called good witch at the beginning of Wizard of Oz. Yeah, she's the so-called good witch at the Wizard of Oz, in which she gives Dorothy the red shoes and ends up telling her at the end that the shoes hold the power for her to find her way back home. And it says Glinda is the real villain. What do we really know about Glinda, the good witch? Good in quotation marks. She's pretty, she's dressed in soft pink, she speaks in a sweet tone. Our biases let us down again because Glinda is one of our 4 people in a power struggle for Oz. And by the end of Dorothy's visit, 2 of Glinda's adversaries are dead and 1 leaves in a hot air balloon. The most damning evidence that Glinda's up to something is that she could have told Dorothy that the ruby red slippers she was wearing would send her home right at the beginning. But Dorothy had already offed the Wicked Witch of the East and made enemies with the Wicked Witch of the West, so Glinda chilled with a copy of the 48 Laws of Power and waited to be the last witch standing. Now, that's plausible. Like, I'm not going to write that one off. That does make you think because, like, common sense would have told you to tell her at the beginning that the red slippers would send her home, but yet you waited all this time for her to go through all that trouble to tell her at the end that the slippers would send her home. Like, why? Why didn't you tell her that at the beginning? And plus, like, with the house falling on the... Well, I'm going to explain the Wicked Witch of the East, but plus, like, with the witch in the house falling on the Wicked Witch of the East, like with Dorothy making enemies with the Wicked Witch of the West and stuff like that and accidentally pouring water on her, and also the house falling on the Wicked Witch of the East, like, that kind of makes you think, like, yeah. And the most juiciest one of all is the Wicked Witch of the East. It says, Dorothy, like I said, I'm going to explain the Wicked Witch of the East. It says, Dorothy is the Wicked Witch of the East. This one is a bit beyond the poppy field, but stick with us for a minute. Every major figure Dorothy meets in Oz is parallel to someone she knows back home. The field hands and her travel companions, the Wicked Witch of the West, let me start over. This one is a bit beyond the poppy field, but stick with us for a minute. Every major figure Dorothy meets in Oz is a parallel of someone she knows back home. The field hands and her travel companions, the Wicked Witch of the West and Miss Gulch, and so on. But Dorothy doesn't have a counterpart, or does she? There's someone in Oz that has Dorothy's exact shoe size, but she's crushed on arrival. Redditor Prime 2 suggests that the Wicked Witch of the East is Dorothy's counterpart, whose face we never see, and 2 might have had to die because her existence while Dorothy's in Oz would have created a paradox. Makes sense. Now, that does make sense. because isn't it a weird coincidence that the Wicked Witch of the East and Dorothy both wear the same shoe size? Like, that kind of is a weird coincidence right there. And like they had just said, like, maybe it was all part of Glenda's plan to kill the Wicked Witch of the East, just so she won't ruin the story. Or maybe expose Glenda for who she really was. Who's to say? Because not all bad witches are ugly, and not all good witches are pretty. So maybe she was probably, this is just my conspiracy theory, maybe she probably just was like an ugly version of Dorothy that was really a good witch and probably threatened to expose Glenda for who she really was. And Glenda caused the tornado to come and the house to fall on the Wicked Witch of the East just so she wouldn't get exposed. Or maybe because, like I had said, she probably didn't want her to ruin the story. Maybe. But who's to say? That's neither here nor there. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit because some of these are boring. And I really like this one. It says, "The Wizard of Oz is Willy Wonka's father. If you ever wonder where the red spiral aligned with the yellow brick road in Munchkinland leads, Tumblr user screen name missing has the answer: Willy Wonka's factory. Imagine that the wizard flew to Oz in a hot air balloon that got busted, and after securing some success in the candy business, the wizard's son Willy goes searching for him in all sorts of strange lands, eventually ending up in Munchkinland himself, where he learns the secrets of candy trees and establishes the Lollipop Guild. He uses those fantastical methods to soar to the top of the candy game, finds comfort in his father's approval, and installs 2 roads leading from Munchkinland, one to the Emerald City of his father and one to the factory he owns. The dates on the full theory are way off, but it's the most fun, inventive theory going around." And yeah, that's basically about it for these conspiracy theories. And yeah, maybe that's plausible too. Like, maybe, just maybe, it probably does lead to the chocolate factory. Maybe. Who's to say? And what I'm about to bring up these are 2 of my conspiracy theories. Now, you have the Wicked Witch of the East, the Good Witch of the North, and the Wicked Witch of the West. But where's the Wicked Witch of the South? Or the Good Witch of the South? This is just my conspiracy theory. Maybe, just maybe, Dorothy's Auntie M back home, maybe, just maybe, might be the Wicked Witch or the Good Witch of the South. Who's to say? And just like with the Wicked Witch of the East, maybe Glenda had did away with her just so she wouldn't ruin the story. Or maybe she probably threatened to expose Glenda for who she really was. And maybe Glenda killed her because she didn't want to get exposed. Or like I had said, she knew that she probably would freak Dorothy out and ruin the story with her looking like Auntie M. So she decided to do away with her. Maybe. And another thing. Who's to say, like I had said, who's to say, like, with all of this happening and stuff, who's to say Glenda probably could have caused a tornado to come and who's to say she could have caused the tornado to come and stuff like that, and caused Dorothy to arrive in Munchkinland and have her go through all that, and then at the end, who's to say she was standing behind Dorothy, she was waving her magic wand while Dorothy was reciting, "There's no place like home, there's no place like home," like while she was waving her wand around and around and around behind her head. Like, who's to say that she switched it all around to make it seem like it was a dream just so Dorothy probably wouldn't expose her plan? Like, what do we really know about Glenda? Nothing. So, yeah, that's just about it for these conspiracy theories. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to link all my social media accounts in the description box down below. So feel free to add and follow me on those. Also, don't forget to turn that notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a video. So, peace.